What's up, guys? We're live. We're back. We're late, the usual. This is Beat The Line Broadcast, episode 45, UFC 306. Our guest, McPicks, he'll be here eventually. He's a dad who's on baby duty. He'll be here eventually. I'm your host, Picks by Pegasus. I'm here with Jauregui and Keith 3 Picks, the usual crew, and we're going to break down UFC Noche. So we'll start from the bottom here. I mean, Dana White's calling this, a love letter to Mexico. This is really just like a you up text to Mexico because the card, I don't think it's impressive by any means, the card. It's only 10 fights. You have what? 2 ranked Mexican fighters on the card? Maybe, 1, 2,
It's
3.
gonna be fun. I think we need to stop hating, bro, to be honest. Like, it's not the greatest card like they're hyping it to be, but it's gonna be a fun card, man. Like, they just have fun, I feel like
the love letter is crazy.
Everybody just trying to judge the card and everything, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be fun. I'm pretty sure. So, like, we're also gonna be able to make money on it. So, it's better than no card, So, yeah, I mean, everybody hating on the card. I get it though. There's not like the card's not as a banger as what they said it would be, but I think there's a couple of fun fights, to be honest, on it. So I'm looking forward to the card.
I can't tell if Tapology is out of order. Is Raul Rosas the first fight of the night?
I think so, yeah.
All right, well, that's kind of crazy. Raul Rosas Jr. versus Aori Qileng, the Mongolian murderer versus El Nino. Rosas is 19, 5'9", 67-inch reach. Aori Lang is 31, 5'7", 63-inch reach. Odds in these gentlemen, you can get Raul Rosas anywhere from minus 770 to minus 950. You can get Qileng Aori anywhere from plus 550 to plus 600. Key, go ahead. Oh, AQ, I like that. We'll call him AQ. So, Key, I mean, this is clearly, I think what it is a setup spot here for Rosas to get another win, to open up Mexico's card, being one of the first fights and first Mexican fighting. What do you think, Kay? Also, nice do-rag. I agree.
Respect.
He's always got the clean silky on.
Yeah. In this spot, for me, I find it kind of. I think that the line's kind of wide. Listen, don't bleed it. I think that this is a fight that probably should be a little more closely lined. I mean, AQ isn't like some bum on the ground. Like, I understand that he's been wrestled a couple times, but and not saying that Johnny Munoz is not is this great grappler and great wrestler, but I think that fight was a good look. And I'm not super high on the guy. Obviously, the competition leading up to the UFC on the Asian regional scene is never that good. But I mean, he's handled himself like a pro at the UFC level. He hits like a truck. I think that I wouldn't be surprised if Rosas finds some sort of he is a butt scooter. I wouldn't be surprised if Rosas hits some sort of adversity in this fight. I think he is going to get touched at least once here. And at minus 800, I don't want to see you bleed. I don't want to see you get touched, honestly. Like, I want you to completely run over this guy. I think that the line was similar against Terrence Mitchell. I parlayed the shit out of him whenever he fought Terrence Mitchell because Terrence Mitchell was never UFC level. And yeah, minus 750 versus Terrence Mitchell, who can't hurt a fly, and then minus 800 against AQ, who has real traits. That just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm not parlaying him. I figure that he's going to win because the UFC obviously wants him to win. I mean, we know the card that we're dealing with. So I can't help but think that he's going to figure out a way to get it done. But I can't envision in my head, like, I don't think that he gets the first back take that it's just going to be over. Like, I just don't believe that. AQ's coming out of fight ready. I have to believe that he's somewhat prepared for this fight. So for me, it's a pass. To justify this price tag, it has to be round 1 or round 2 sub. And things get dicey round 2, round 3. So it's a pass for me, and I can't blame anybody who's ballsy enough to take an AQ shot here.
Honestly, not even the AQ shot. I kind of like the over. I think the over set at 1.5, if I'm not mistaken. Over's plus odds, plus 110. I think it was a little bit steeper, like around plus 125 at opener when I saw it. And that was my first original look, was like, don't be surprised. Like, AQ is durable, and AQ is a good fighter, like you said, out of fight ready. Like, he ain't just going to go down like everyone else says. He's not Terrence Mitchell. He's not another one of those guys. AQ has been working in the room with all those fight ready guys. They're all good at jiu-jitsu. They're all good at wrestling. Like, and Rosas has been good, but like, let's not forget what the C-Rod fight was 2 fights ago. So let's not forget, like, this guy is human at the end of the day. Sure, he runs through people he should run through, but like, I don't think AQ is a guy you really, I like the nickname AQ, by the way, but AQ is not really a guy you just run through, I don't think, honestly. So I don't know. I think the over here. I think I like the over here. I think that's how to play it. It's probably dog or pass or the over. What do you think, Jav?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. C-Rod would whoop the floor with this guy. Like, let's not compare like the C-Rod fight with this one. I mean, I think it was his UFC debut, first of all, the C-Rod fight. No, it was not his UFC debut. It was the fight after, right? But I mean, he go all in the first round, and then he doesn't get the finish, and yeah, he gas out. It was 18, I think. He's almost 20 now. I don't really think he's that good, to be honest, but he's gonna be someone who's gonna be improving a lot from fight to fight. The power, the striking, just the cardio management and everything. I feel like it's gonna get better. But yeah, the guy's obviously very dangerous early in the first round. Good back take, super dangerous with the submission, and yeah, I don't think Aori Qileng is gonna be like easy to finish. But at the end of the day, like he said, if he's minus 800 and he covers his price tag, I kind of have to believe that he's gonna finish under 1.5. So I think one of these lines are wrong. Like, either the under 1.5 is not priced correctly, or Rosas Jr. is not minus 800. Because if the fight go past over 1.5, like, instead of betting the over 1.5, I think if you like the over 1.5, I would take the dog shot at this point, because if the fight go past 7.5 minutes, you want to be on the other side. You don't want to have the Rosas minus 800. But just pick winner strategy has been working this year, and sometimes when the narrative's on his side and all the people thinking that someone's gonna win, he's either gonna shit the bed or he's gonna deliver. So the cards the cards like build around Mexico and everything, we know that, right? And they're not trying to bring Aori Qileng here to get a win, that's for sure. But it doesn't always work like the UFC want, So yeah, I don't. To me, the fight's really a pass, to be honest. I think if you like Rosas, you play either the round 1 for him, or you play the under 1.5, which I think is pretty decent. Like I said, because if he finish, I think he's gonna finish under 1.5. And at the end of the day, he also finished Tercios, I think, under 1.5. Let me just check. Yeah, he submit Tercio. It was close to being over 1.5, but Tercio's grappling and scramble are way better than Aori Qileng, in my opinion. So if he's able to submit him under 1.5, I kind of have to think that he can submit him also early here. So I think Rosas get a submission under 1.5. So I actually like the under for this fight, if anything. But to me, it's just a pass all around. But I think Rosas get the sub. Yeah. But I wouldn't play the sub also, just because like Aori Qileng has been chinned before. He took damage in his career. He's super hittable. Not saying that Rosas gonna knock him out, but like, we've seen him swing big punches, and when people are too worried about the takedown, sometimes that's where the striking can be. You can open up the striking, and his ground and pound. He's kind of working on the ground and pound, I have to believe also. So yeah, I think he's gonna get a sub, but yeah, I think the fight is just a pass at the prices.
Yeah, inside the distance is minus 360.
Yeah, that's just garbage. Right? If you like him inside a distance, why don't you like the under 1.5? It's almost a pick him.
That line doesn't make sense at all.
Like minus 360. I mean, come on, what are we doing here? It's crazy.
Yeah, fight ends inside minus 600, like crazy. I agree with this. If AQ's alive after round 1, live bet, not a bad idea. Just see how he does. If he's defending everything well and things are looking okay, hey, I don't hate it either.
Yeah, also agree with that.
Let's look at the next fight. Next fight we have here is our boy Joshua Van. This is a Joshua Van podcast versus Edgar Chairez. Joshua Van, 22.55 with a 65-inch reach. Edgar Chairez is 28.57, 72-inch reach. Odds on these gentlemen, you can get Chairez anywhere from plus 200 to plus 190. You can get Joshua Van anywhere from minus 220 to minus 230. Job, break it down for us first. I think this is a Josh Van spot. What do you think? I think he's going to walk this guy.
Yeah, we all like Josh Van, right? The only time I didn't like him is when he was minus 250 or minus 225 against Sar Johnson last fight. Make some good money there. I just checked my record. I'm actually undefeated on this guy. I bet him against Borjas. I bet him against Bunes, and then I fade him with Johnson. So I have a good read on him. I think he's pretty solid, still young, good striking, goes to the body, insane cardio, very good volume, pace, pressure. He's the type of guy that you want to bet round 2-3 on him, because just the way he fights, he's not like he's a slow starter, kind of like a Peter Yan. Like he's gonna drop the first round a lot of times, but he's gonna dig deep, up the pressure, the body work, everything. I like his boxing. I also believe that he looked very good in the Johnson fight despite getting caught, but yeah, he was piecing up Johnson at some point, so I thought it was impressive. The guy takedown defense also pretty decent. And Chairez, I don't really rate him, the guy, he has, I guess, decent power, but like I don't like his striking that much. His cardio's average. I guess he's a grappler, he has a good guillotine, and he's known to be dangerous a little bit with his submission. He almost had Tyron deep submission and everything, but I don't really rate the guy. He's big for a flyweight, though. I'll say that. The guy's massive, and he struggled to make weight. But yeah, he's the Mexican here, so I kind of have a feeling that for this card, when the Mexican's going to be fighting and they're going to have a moment, the crowd's going to go crazy. So we need to take that a little bit in consideration when we're fitting them at massive chalk, I think, with this one. And also let's not forget that Josh Van got knocked out only 2 months ago, right? It's still very recent. So he's taking the fight on short notice after a KO loss. But I do think the guy is very durable. And like I said, I don't really think that Chairez is a dangerous guy on the feet. So I see this fight playing out two ways. One way more than likely. I think it's going to go the distance, but I think it's going to be a sketchy round 3 for Chairez, to be honest. I think Van's going to, it just depends on how you fight after being KO'd. But if you fight like he normally does, I feel like as the fight goes on, he's going to up the pressure, the pace, and everything. And he's like to finish late. But more often than not, I think that Josh Van win a decision, doing more damage, ending more volume, defending the takedowns. And it's not even if Chairez was a good wrestler. The guy's not really shooting takedowns. And even if he tried to shoot here, I don't think he's going to get any takedowns. So he's going to be stuck on the feet against a guy who hit harder, who throw more volume, and who's a better striker than him and also younger. But yeah, I think you can either play Josh Van KO 2-3. I don't think he's going to get a sub, which are decent numbers. Or you just parlay the over 2.5 with something else, because if Van get a finish, I think it's going to be late round 2 or round 3. So the over 2.5, you only have a part of round 3, and you have the end of round 2 to struggle with. So yeah, it's also a flyweight fight at the end of the day. So I do believe it's going to go all 15 minutes, but I think that Chairez is going to have a tough round 3. So yeah, I think Josh Van win a decision here.
Yep, just going to answer some questions real quick. I agree. I think it's kind of crazy that people were happy to bet Van versus Tagir, but now that they want to fade him with Chairez, not going to really work out well.
No, the spot was to fade him against Johnson. I mean, the price was kind of crazy, but like I said, I thought that he looked good in that fight, but shit happened. It's a fight.
I'm seeing minus 245 on FanDuel for Josh Van, so that line might be up there now.
Against right now, no, I think he's minus 225. No, he's minus 235. Okay, so the line's going up. Yeah, I wouldn't play him at this price though.
I don't mind actually. So looking at this, I'll go first. I also realized I didn't even break down the first fight, but for Edgar Chairez side, he's got good forward pressure. He blitzes well. His power's there. His striking defense isn't great. He's got a pretty good stick jab. I like that. His jab is stiff. That's kind of where Josh struggled a little bit against Charles Johnson, but I don't think Chairez's jab is as good as Charles Johnson. Obviously, Edgar is probably going to be the side on the ground. He's got good BJJ. He's quick to lock in subs, but I don't really think, on the Van side, Van's forward pressure, the way he throws punches in bunches, the volume's going to be there. He slips out of the way of punches and has good counters. The way he works the body is some of the best in the UFC right now. He establishes his leg kicks early, like everything about Josh Van. And for being 20, he's very impressive for being 22. His grappling, I mean, we've seen him get, the calf slicer on the regional scene. So he's got jiu-jitsu there. He's got really good urgency to get up. When he gets down, he has no problem getting back up. The first thing he does, kind of what the only downside I see the Josh Van side right now is kind of what Jav said with the whole slow starter thing. It being in Mexico, the Mexican crowd, it's going to be loud whenever Chairez lands a punch versus Josh Van. Yeah. But I'm happy with Josh Van here, minus 200. I think that's okay for a parlay leg, to be completely honest. What do you got, Jav? You going to say something?
Yeah, I was about to say, are you a little bit worried that he's coming back 2 months after being knocked out? I think that's a little bit concerning at minus 250, to be honest. But yeah, that's just my opinion.
I don't think so. I think there's too much. I think, don't get me wrong, if he was 30 years old and coming back off of a knockout, yeah, I would be concerned.
Yeah,
he's
22. You have to think that he didn't really train a lot. Like, he didn't train for at least 1 month, after his last fight and being put out. So he may be.
My boy Josh, he was in there the next day. He was in the training room the next day, I'd bet.
I mean, it's not a good thing long term.
Yo, he's a dog, bro. He's a dog, and he's 22.
If you're getting knocked out and the day after you're sparring and the coach let you do this, I mean, it's not going to be long term for your career. But yeah,
sure. But dude, look at Glory Kickboxing, bro. You get knocked out on Friday, you'll be fighting again on Sunday. Like, there's plenty of shit like this that happens. I think people look a little too far into this kind of stuff.
I'm just saying you need to factor that a little bit in when you're betting a minus 250. That's more of my point. It's not like he's the underdog here.
Oh, I agree. What do you think, Key? What do you got for us?
Yeah. I mean, to be completely honest here, I mean, people were talking about Josh Van like he was Jesus Christ himself the last couple of fights. And now all of a sudden we have a relatively close-ish line against Edgar Chairez, who I don't rate highly at all. Chairez here, I mean, jiu-jitsu-wise, I think that he's pretty solid off of his back. I think he got some makes a lot of bad choices. The amount of times that he pulled Gilly versus Tyra was a terrible look. I think he pulled Gilly at least twice, but I believe 3 times even. And just kept on going back even after he hurt Tyra. I think that he does have decent power, but in terms of his actual boxing rhythm and striking defense, I mean, his hands are wide. Josh's jab is going to land all night long. The ways I played this, I'll give this out. Early on, I thought that there were some crazy KO2 and KO3 lines. So members in Discord got plus 1,100 and plus 1,400 on KO round 2, KO round 3. Absolutely disgusting prices. So I mean, we took advantage of that pretty easily. I think that this is a spot where people are talking about a lot of, I mean, yeah, he got knocked out. It wasn't like he went out cold, which I'm glad. He didn't go out cold. And was it a solid knockout? Yeah. But that's a guy that he's definitely getting back in the gym very quickly. I mean, yeah, he probably didn't spar for a little bit, but the kid is a worker. And he's constantly been wanting fights. And I don't expect him to change who he is just because he got touched up once like that. That's not the way in which that's just not the way in which he seems to be built mentally. So my money is still on Josh Van. I think that he's still a great prospect. I think that Chairez, people are forgetting, like, Chairez has missed weight, I think, like 3 out of his last 4. I know his last Fury fight, he came in at like 128 or some shit. So he's missed weight like 3 out of his last 4 fights. And he's absolutely killing himself to get down to 125. Like, he looks like a zombie on the scales whenever he does make weight. So thinking about that long term, cardio cardio has never been that good anyways. But if he is going to make weight, I don't expect cardio to actually be any sort of advantage for him here. Josh Van is going to walk him down, be in his face consistently. And Josh's sub defense has looked great pretty much in a lot of fights since he's touched the UFC level. Takedown defense has been fine. Not that I think that Chairez is going to shoot takedowns, because he just doesn't. And I know that
body shots.
I know that we're and that's a very good angle. I know that we're looking into this Mexican angle, and we know that the crowd is going to get behind these guys. But there's not shit to get behind whenever your guy's just getting his face jabbed off. And I think that that's the most likely scenario here. He's gonna jab his face off. He's gonna go to the body. Round 2, round 3, we know what Josh Van looks like. I think this is gonna look very, very similar to the Bunez fight, but without all of the round 1. I think that this is maybe the one person on earth that Josh Van is like gonna cook round 1 to. I don't think that it's gonna take him that long to get into a rhythm here. Do I think that he finishes in round 1? No, but I think round 2, round 3, volume accumulation, because Edgar Chairez is tough. Like, you do have to give it to him. He's a tough guy. He comes to fight. But round 2, round 3, body work will be too much pressure. And Chairez is not wrestling. I mean, he's a guy that has not ever shown to truly wrestle. It's opportunistic BJJ every time. And so while I do think that he does have finishing upside in terms of just sub, yeah, a little bit, but not enough to be justifying these price tags. I think that Josh Van is a fine parlay piece. I parlayed him at -205. I'm happy with that price. And like I said, the KO round 2, round 3 numbers that I got, and I'm sure are coming out soon on commercials and will be better than what you're getting on Bet Online right now. I think that, I mean, this is a very clear spot. I know that he got knocked out. He got knocked out by a real top 15, top 10 guy. Like Charles has proved over this run that he's a genuine top 15, top 10 guy. And so Chairez is nothing close to that. Chairez is an overblown flyweight. And I think
what about the Clay Carpenter fight, bro? What about the Clay Carpenter fight? I don't like. I mean,
go ahead.
No, I'm asking you. What do you think of that fight? Like, compare Clay Carpenter to Joshua Van and tell me, how does anything go different here, right?
I mean, it's way different. He was grappling in the fight. It's a way different matchup.
And if you're looking,
I'm just talking about like caliber of fighter.
I mean, they fight way differently. It's completely different style.
And while I don't think I know people loved Chairez against Lacerda and all that shit. And I still think that that's bullshit, and I want the trilogy. But I don't really see a way. This was not a good spot for him. I was willing to bet Borjas at plus money, at pretty wide plus money against Chairez. And so I'm very much willing to lay chalk on Josh Van here. So this is Josh Van round 2, round 3 KO.
All right. I like it. Next fight we got is Jasmine Jauregui versus Caitlin Souza. I think I got that right.
Jauregui.
I got it right. Jasmine Jauregui versus Caitlin Souza.
Yasmin, the girl name.
Jauregui. Yasmin Jauregui.
Jauregui. 25, 5'3", 64-inch reach. Souza, 29, 5'3", 63-inch reach. Odds on these girls, you can get Yasmin anywhere from -425 to -550. You can get Caitlin Souza anywhere from +355 to +390. Key, low-level girl fight, take it away.
Key, you're muted. Key, you're muted, bro.
Yeah, Yasmin is my girl. I've been high on her since her debut. I think that she's going to be a top 15 girl in this division eventually. And so this is a very clear spot. I don't see a way that she really loses. Souza is not a big KO threat. Yasmin is the better striker. She does have KO sub upside here too, I believe. So I'm excited for her. I think that they could have gave her an easier fight to truly boost her stock if they were trying to set her up, which it seems like. I think that she's a I won't say that she's going to justify price tag, but we've been in this run of just picking winners, and she's a winner. I think that it's pretty clear that she's just a winner here. And so I'm not sure that she necessarily finishes, because I do think the Souza is somewhat tough, and it's not going to be like a completely non-competitive fight. But Yasmin is going to put in some work, and her jab will look very nice here.
So first off, before you go, McPicks, welcome. Glad you were able to make it. Glad to have you. So we're right now we're on Yasmin and Caitlin Souza. Give us your first two picks for Raul Rosas and Torres. We'll have you catch us up real quick.
Did anyone give out a Chiwi yet?
No, we didn't.
All right.
No.
Rob, I
you want to be the first? That could be. You could be the first one. Snake.
Welcome to the podcast.
I mean, he's minus 800. Money line's probably wide. I think the submission for him is a bit overstated. You know, Aori was submitted 3 times, but they were super early on in his career. It's been like 7 years. But I do think Rosas does finish at some point. He's pretty inherently aggressive. I don't know when. I don't have a good read on the total. I believe the over 1.5 is plus money. So it might not be a bad idea, but Rosas does come out hot. But yeah, it's tough not to pick him, especially at UFC Noche. And then in the Van fight, I got to go with my guy Van, even though he's taking this fight on short notice. He was knocked out not that long ago against a veteran, but I think he bounces back here. I love his boxing. I'm a fan of his. And now we're talking Jauregui.
Yeah, Jauregui and Souza. What do you got for that?
I like Jauregui a lot. I mean, she's a big favorite, but really good fighter. Really good boxing, fast hands. She's always in position. She's like very grounded, really good distance management, really good cardio. She's aggressive and has a lot of power for this 115 division. She also mixes up her target well. She goes to the head. She mixes the body. She has like a sneaky head kick she throws once in a while. And I'm just not impressed with Souza, to be honest. She has decent striking, good cardio. She looked good against Marnik Man, but this is a huge step up from a fighter like Marnik Man. And I just think that Souza, she's a good hammer, but she's not a good nail. Like, I feel like when the going gets tough, she can wilt. She's been finishing all 4 of her losses. And I think that Jauregui knocks her out at some point in this fight. So, Mexican heritage. Jauregui, big favorite, but I do think this one ends inside the distance, which is solid plus money. Actually, I was surprised. I look back, and in Jauregui's fight against Sam Hughes, the fight was only like plus 130 to end inside the distance. This is plus 200. So I think Sam Hughes is way tougher than Souza. So Jauregui by knockout.
So I'll be the one on an island here. I actually played Souza. I didn't play her to win. I played her plus 3.5, plus 200. Something tells me this fight's going to be close. Yasmin's got good striking. Her combos are good. Her counters are good. Her volume and hand speed's good. You can't really say too much bad about her. She got good grappling. Her takedown defense looks good too. Just from the Souza side, though, I like her forward pressure. I like how much power she has. I like how she blasts leg kicks. I think her body work is very good. Her top pressure from if she gets the takedown on top is very good. And with plus 3.5, all you're looking for is for her to win a round. I really don't think that's too big of an ask here. I think that if she does decide to make this nasty, or if it goes the distance, it will be a close fight and it'll cover plus 3.5. But obviously, like McPicks said, 4 of her losses come from finish. So I think she's kind of either going to get finished or it's going to be a close fight. And at plus 200 odds to win 1 round, I think it's a no-brainer for me personally. Drav, what do you got?
Yeah, I agree with McPick here. The more I was looking into it, I don't mind your plus 3.5 if the fight go the distance. But that's the thing, though. She needs to survive all 15 minutes. So I think that's a little bit tricky, just because like all of her losses come inside a distance. I think Yasmin's gonna go crazy. Like the Mexico Independence Day. I think we need to factor that in for finishes a little bit, just because the way these fighters gonna be hyped up when they come into the cage. And just Souza, I think she's decent for this level. Like I like her, but she can be, she can be hurt. I think her body's a little bit weak also. So yeah, and Yasmin is not gonna ride. She's probably not gonna grapple, but if she wants, I think she could submit this girl pretty easily. The price is super big for the submission, but it's because she's probably not gonna grapple, and she's never attempting submission. So I do understand, but at the same time, I think that if she wants, it's there. Let's just put it that way. I think that Souza offensively, she's decent in the grappling, but defensively, she's not good. And on the feet, she does hit hard. I'll give her that, and she's pretty decent. We have seen Yasmin getting cracked and getting hurt, but Gomez hit harder than Souza, man. And I back Gomez, and the fight doesn't go. I think last time out. And to make big points, man, I mean, the odds were, let me just check what the odds were back then, but I think it was like a super big price. And then the fight after against Sam Huge, like it's plus 130, and Sam is super durable, and she's not really a finisher herself. And now in this matchup, you have a girl in Souza who get finished when she loses, and who has a lot of finishes for a girl and can get finished herself. So I think the price is wrong. Yeah, I had Gomez at plus 350, and the under 2.5 was plus 131. So now you're saying in a fight where I think there's a little bit finishing upside on both sides, but I do think that at some point in round 2-3, Yasmin's gonna find a finish. So I think round 2-3 is not a bad look, but I wouldn't get cute and play KO 2-3 just because if she hurt her and she wants, I think the sub is there. So yeah, I think she finish also as the fight goes on.
So the under is 2.5 plus 225, and that was kind of
but
that's what I'm saying. Why not just play it that way?
I like fight doesn't go a little bit more just because there's only like 15-cent difference, and I don't really see Souza finishing her, but I think like 50% of her win condition is like a KO, a meme KO. Oh, just another thing I was thinking, like the Gomez fight, it got stopped a little bit early, if I can say. And this type of fight, if she get hurt, I think they're gonna give her all the chances in the world to recover. So yeah, I don't really think that Souza's gonna finish her at a high clip. And I think as the fight goes on, the body work gonna add up. And Yasmin 2-3, the price are big, so I'll look into it myself. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a good fight though.
All right, and then real quick, we'll go through comments. Amarim cheated, 4 fingers under the glove. I put out a tweet, pictures there. Can't be doing that. Even in gi jiu-jitsu, you can't be sticking your fingers up the sleeves. It's got to be from outside over. It's a common rule. Anyone would know that. But hey.
At the same time, Vanessa, man, you can't be doing that, dude. You can't just stop defending yourself and just complain at the ref.
Oh, I agree. But was that before or was it after the fight was already over?
No, it was during. She was about to get choked out. She's starting complaining and everything. But yeah, I mean, it was illegal. But at the same time, you can't be doing that. You got to defend yourself. So yeah,
that's funny. And then, okay, now we're done talking about this girl. Next fight we got is Manuel Torres versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Manuel Torres is 15-2, 29, 5'10" with a 73-inch reach. Ignacio Bahamondes is 27, 6'3" with a 75.5-inch reach. Odds in these gentlemen right now, it's pretty close to a pick 'em. Manuel Torres is anywhere from minus 115 to minus 120. Ignacio Bahamondes is anywhere from plus 100 to plus 105. Ignacio, McPicks, we're going to have you go first. What do you think? Do you think Ignacio cooks Chairez in 2-3? I'm a Baja guy. I think he's going to win. I think he cooks him in 2-3. Probably going to find a finish. What do you think?
What a sick name, Ignacio Bahamondes.
Yeah, I know, right?
I think it's definitely possible he cooks him late. It's a bit of a clash of styles here. Torres is super explosive, athletic. He's fast. He's dangerous wherever the fight goes. Bahamondes, on the other hand, he's more like rangy. He's technical. He has good cardio, but he lacks like that speed and that athleticism that Torres has. We've seen in the past Bahamondes struggle kind of big time and early on when fighters are super explosive and physical, guys like, Ludwig Klein. And Bahamondes also seems to fade a bit like when he gets hurt early on, he loses confidence as the fight goes on, he seems like he fades out a little bit. And all of Torres' finishes, they're in round one. He's been to decision only one time, and he won by split. So Cardi's a question mark. I think personally the way to play this fight is just to get value. I would look at like maybe the sub prop for Torres or sub round one, or just take a look at Bahamondes live after round one. But as a pick, I'm going to pick Torres actually to get him out of there early.
Wow. Okay. I think you might be on an island here. Key, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I've called a lot of shit on Twitter this week for being on Bahamondes. I'm glad to back him here. I mean, it's not really a question of Torres cardio. Nobody on earth can fight at the pace like he's fighting in round one for 15 minutes. Like, there's not a soul. I think that he's great round one. But I do think I think that he's great round one. But Bahamondes has never been knocked out. I don't think that Torres is subbing him here. And something to note here, I mean, I was able to find the footage. I mean, it is low quality, but I was able to find the footage of that split decision that Torres did go to and ended up winning. That guy is, I believe, it does say that he's at Valley Flow Striking, so I have to believe that he's probably a training partner of Bahamondes now. In that fight, Torres was definitely fading very hard in round three. The decision-making looked awful. He was getting out-wrestled in a lot of not winning scrambles. And so although that was in 2018, him having all round one finishes since then, including being finished in round one twice, does not lead me to believe that, like he's shored up with any sort of cardio issue. And even if he does have halfway decent cardio, I think that Bahamondes has elite cardio. And so round two, round three, I think that Bahamondes is going to look absolutely amazing here. He doesn't wear damage well, which I do dislike a little bit, but he's tough. So it's not a thing of him being chinny. It's just more so that he's just does not have any sun on him. And so I think that that's a little tough here. Round one, like I said, I think that Torres is going to have some big hooks. He's going to come out hot. But if anything, I know that people have been loving to talk about, we're playing a guessing game with guys who haven't proven over 15 minutes. But Torres has all the signs of a guy who does not handle adversity super well. He has all the signs of a guy who's not going to go a full 15 minutes. So there's nothing to lead me to believe that he is going to have a hard 15 minutes. And if anything, at the Sphere in front of your people on Mexican Independence Night, like, I'm supposed to think that the adrenaline is not going to have you gassing either. Like, there's just too many factors here for me to believe that round two, round three, that he's going to beat Bahamondes in those rounds. So minus 120, I believe he's at right now, Torres. I think that that's a garbage line. I think you have to side with Bahamondes. I think Bahamondes live, like McPicks mentioned, is also a good way to play it. And Torres round one is decent because I do think that that's his only winning condition here. So, yeah.
To add on to that too, talk about the guys that, Manuel Torres has faced in the UFC from like a size perspective. First off, you fought Chris Duncan, shorter guy. Chris Duncan kind of hurt him with a jab. Nicholas Mata, he clapped Nicholas Mata. Nicholas Mata, another short guy. We're looking at Frank Camacho. I mean, really? Another short guy, old as shit. Everyone he's fought has been a smaller guy than him, and now he's finally facing someone who's going to have 3 or 4 inches of height on him and another 3 inches of reach on him. And we're talking about a guy who controls his distance well. When it comes to, like, I guess people like the sub idea behind Torres, but like Ignacio's got a 85% takedown defense. He's got a crazy good front choke series. If he shoots that takedown, he'll probably I think Ignacio's going to be able to defend it no problem. From a striking standpoint, I think that the footwork of, Bahamondes is going to pay off well here, especially as the fight goes on. I think this is kind of just, we're counting on Bahamondes to survive round one, start putting in that body work, start working everything together, and you'll kind of get to finish round two, round three. Round three probably better. Torres does have a chin, but the body shots will help too. I don't know. I feel like just Baja plus odds is, and let's talk about strength of competition, right? Strength of competition. We'll talk about a guy in, let's see, Christos Gallegos, the last win that Bahamondes has. Pretty sure Christos Gallegos has more wins than anyone Torres has fought almost combined outside of Frank Camacho because he's old as shit. Ludovic Klein, that's his only loss. This guy Torres ain't coming out and doing what Ludovic Klein does with blasting leg kicks, shooting for takedowns. Trey Ogden's always a weird fight to have, but we're talking about guys Rong Zhu, Roosevelt Roberts. Let's not talk about Roosevelt Roberts. That's not a good look. But all these other guys, like higher level competition, like this is a spot where you want to bet Ignacio Bahamondes at plus odds. And to answer Dog's question, no, I didn't watch the decision fight. There's no need to.
And to add real quick to what you were saying, Peg, I don't think that this is a case of like Bahamondes is just gonna like for sure completely punt round one. Like I do see I see scenarios where he can potentially win round one. Like Torres, like you mentioned, got a little wobbled in that fight against Duncan last time out. Like I don't think that this is a thing of him just punting round one for sure. I just think that Torres most likely win path is round one.
And like Dog probably just said, the overhand from Duncan, the left hook from Mata, like he's been hurt before. Like I get it, this guy's like the new shiny toy where everyone likes him because he goes out there and he murders people. But like there's going to be a time where that ends. And I mean, I think we're here for it. I think you're getting a guy in Bahamondes at a great price to do it. Drav, what do you think?
Hey, I'll make it a little bit fun. I'll make it two for two. I also believe that Torres is going to catch him early, probably. Yeah, I mean, Bahamondes is super skills. Like, I think skill for skills, he's the better fighter all around. And of course, if the fight extends, it's going to favor him. But it's going to be hard to extend the fight, first of all. Torres is a known killer in round one. And you can say what you want about, like, decision fight or everything. But, I mean, first of all, it was 6 years ago. Second off, he was 23 years old. And also, the fight was at featherweight, you know. Now he's at lightweight. And 6 years later, so... yeah, I'm not saying that he's not going to gas if the fight extends, you know, but I think he has a lot of early finishing upside just because Bahamondes is super hittable, man, especially early. He's getting cracked, and almost every fight I've watched is getting cracked in the first round. Even the Gallegos fight, good performance, but man, Gallegos landed like 2-3 big shots on his chin. It didn't wobble him, but if Torres lands the same punch, I'm pretty sure he's going to wobble him again. Who hit harder, Klein or Torres? Just a question for you guys.
I mean, that's a tough question. Klein probably hits pretty hard if I had to guess, especially off the new vitamins he's on.
Yeah, he also got hurt against John McDessie. And I think it was his UFC debut. He got hurt in the first round.
It was my next point. You're too fast for me, McPicks. Yeah, but it's just that when he's getting hurt, more often than not, it's early, and Torres is known to be a killer early. But I do think Torres hit harder than Klein, but I think Klein's faster and a better striker, you know, so it's a little bit tricky. And like you said, McPick, I also give him some submission upside, especially early. I've seen him literally catch a neck on somebody on the feet and get a guillotine and just choke the guy out pretty, like the guy has a nasty squeeze. And the submission against Duncan, it was pretty good also. Yeah, this is a good vet, but the guy is he's not hurting many people. Let me tell you that. So, yeah, it's just that you have a guy who's the better skills fighter, but have bad striking defense, getting hurt. He's getting hurt early, and he's gonna get cracked here. And then the difference between Klein and Torres here is if Torres hurt him like Klein did, I think he can catch his neck and submit him. I don't think Klein has the same submission skills as Torres. So. Yeah, man, you just give me the guy who's more dangerous early against a guy who's better as the fight goes on, but get cracked and can get hurt early and who's hittable. I think Torres is going to catch him. Maybe Bahamondes survive and extend the fight, but it's going to be tough in the first round. And I also believe that the under 1.5 is not bad because just the way Torres fight, he can get cracked himself. We've seen him like winning fight that he was losing till he get the kill shot, you know. But I do think that the guy is kind of a dog, you know. He had a good chin and he got cracked against Duncan, you know, but he still found a way to win. So yeah, man, I like Torres, but I don't really like the money line though. I like round one better for him. I think the round one is like maybe 75% of his win condition. I do give him a little bit of a round 2 upside also. And I think if the fight go all 15, there's probably going to be a scenario where, at least how I see it, if there's no finish, I think Bahamondes win round 3 and Torres win round 1, and then it's going to come out. It's going to depend on round 2. So I don't think it's impossible that you win a decision, but I do think that more often than not, if you win, it's going to be a finish in the first round. So I like that better. It's almost plus 300 rather than picking him money line at chalk, especially for, the difference in prices and the way the guy has like all finishes in the first round, I think. So yeah, man, I'm going to pick him to win and get it done the first round.
Torres round 1 sub plus 1,000. Just saying.
It's plus 1,000. Yeah, I'm only on round 1 so far, but plus 1,000, it's probably worth a sprinkle, right?
I don't know about that one, but hey, good luck. All right, next fight is the prelims main event. It's a girl fight. It's Irene Aldana versus Norma Dumont. Irene Aldana is 36, 5'9" with a 68.5-inch reach. Norma Dumont is 33, 5'7" with a 67-inch reach. You can get Aldana anywhere. It's a pick'em. It's minus 110, minus 110 a piece, up to minus 115, minus 115 a piece. Books making you pick a side. Key, you got a side for us here?
Sadly, I can't just flat out pick a side here because I do think that it's somewhat correctly lined. Aldana does not, minus grappling, in my opinion, I think that she is way, way, way too content with just playing off of her back and just playing BJJ. The Macy fight, we obviously know absolute mean finish, but that was a fight that she probably should have already had in the bag before then. But just playing off of her back too much, I think just will continue to lead to bad situations. Norma can look like a wide favorite potentially if she has 3 rounds of top time like we just watched against GDR. I don't think that Norma's wrestling is elite, but she does have heavy hips, as we obviously can see, and she's heavy on top. So I have to rate her top game somewhat, and on the feet she's low volume. So that doesn't pose the same threat that we just saw with Carol Hossa, where Aldana acted like she didn't know what a leg kick was. And so I think on the feet, Aldana's going to look fine here. But I can't help but think that Norma Dumont, she fights good game plans. I have to give it to her. She's going to clinch. She's going to get cage time up against the cage. And she's probably going to get top time here because I don't think that Aldana's takedown defense is just going to magically get better. So the way that I did play this, people forget Dumont got absolutely starched by Megan Anderson in her debut, I believe. Straight right hand, if my memory serves. So I did play Aldana KO at plus 850. It's small. I think that's a great look, especially on this card. If we're going narratives, especially, I think that is her cleanest way of separating against anybody is a KO. Because in decisions, she's 4-5 in decisions, period. But on top of that, she's not ever separating that much. So at this level, it's hard for me I saw people just eating chalk early on Aldana. I just don't really get it unless it's just a big time skill matchup, which I don't think that it is here. You can't be backing Aldana at super big odds, and minus 110. I think that's just fair play. So I was glad to play the KO. But I can also get down on a Dumont plus money bet if it gets there. So there's many ways to look at this fight. I'm actually very excited. I know people joke about this being boring, and it potentially could be. But this is a fight that I'm actually excited to see how their styles clash.
Is there a reason why you're excited about it? We're just wondering.
We all have eyes here.
Yeah, so she's going to use those big busty hips, and she's going to take down Aldana, and that's why I'm on Norma Dumont plus 110. Beat the line, just like the title of the show. And I think, pretty much like you said, I don't know what the word for it is, but if this fight's going long on the feet, Norma's going to have some trouble with the boxing of Aldana. If he goes in the clinch, that's probably going to help Norma out. If he goes on the ground, I think it's Norma all day. I think Norma could probably top time her for, 8 minutes, easy. So I think if we get to the ground, we're just going to see her just lay on top of her, kind of like how it did with Nunes. One of the people mentioned here in the comments, which was a little concerning, was Norma versus binary cut and dry, black and white. Exactly. Thank you, Jewish better. But either way, I just think Dumont at plus odds was the side. Better pick 'em. Probably no real value here, even though it's only 20 cents. How Norma looked when she was in front of Chairez, interesting enough, I think it was. But that's kind of like they're similar girls where they're both tall, so that may give her a little bit issue here with the 5'9", 5'7", but I don't think too much. I also think, Aldana's 36 now. She already lost her chance at a belt. I don't think she's going to be going for any of those anytime soon, and I kind of just think that Norma Dumont looking good lately, on her way up and comer. I think this is just the time to get her at plus odds at a pick 'em. I don't really know. I think fight goes the distance. I'd probably just play that. Parlay the over or something. But yeah, I'm on Norma Dumont here plus odds. What do you think of McPicks?
I like Aldana here. I think Aldana also has all the finishing upside here. Dumont kind of has pillow hands, doesn't really threaten with submissions. I agree with Key. I mean, the concern here is that Dumont does get her down, and then Aldana is content with just playing the jiu-jitsu game. But I think she has a good guard, man. She throws up a lot of subs to threaten her opponents and stand up. And on the feet, she has the better boxing, more volume. She's an absolute dog. I mean, her leg was pretty battered against Souza, and she kept walking forward and doing her thing. Won that fight round 2, round 3. And I think the KO is also alive. I think she has all the finishing upside, like I said. Dumont was knocked out by the giant Megan Anderson early in her career, but she was also hurt by Souza. She was dropped by Souza. She got up quick, to give her credit, but she was hurt. And I also like how I believe this is the first time Aldana is fighting with Lopes and Grasso. Those are her teammates, right? They all train together, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like that. And then going with the narrative, I mean, it's UFC Noche. She's she's Mexican, so. Yeah, I think the KO's live. I just liked how she pushes forward. She's a dog. She's 36, but power is typically the last thing to go in these fighters. So I think she wins, and I think she's live for the knockout. I think the knockout line is wide, like he said.
All right, Trav, what are you thinking here? And then we'll move on to our next one.
Yeah, I don't have a good read, to be honest, on this one. I do lean Aldana a little bit, just because she's going to be the one landing the bigger shot, doing more damage. And I also give her a little bit more finishing upside. But at the same time, I do think it's going to go 15 minutes, more than likely, But Dumont has been cracked before. Aldana can crack, nasty left hook. But she also can struggle with the takedown defense, and she can play off her back a little bit too much. So we can see Dumont having success with that, but at the same time, we can also see a scenario where she control her for 2-3 minutes without doing much, and then Aldana get back up and steal the round with like 2-3 big shots, and the crowd go crazy. So I'll see where the price go. Maybe if Aldana get to decent plus money, it's going to be interesting. But at pick 'em now, I don't really think I have that big of an edge to pick a side. I think the over earlier in the week was probably decent parlay piece, but now the current price, I wouldn't really touch it, just because Aldana, like we all said, has some KO upside, but I do think she wins a decision more often than not. But yeah, I mean, the Rosa versus Aldana fight was a crazy fight, man. Like one of the best girl fights. Was it this year or last year? I mean, it was one of the best I've watched in a long time, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, next, we're going on to the main card now. Guys, if you could, drop a like on the channel, on the video. We always do this for free every week. You drop a like, drop a sub. It helps support us, keeps us, happy doing what we do every week. We're obviously more than happy to do it for you guys. We like making everyone money. We like beating the line, and we like taking from the bookmaker. Okay, first fight of our main event is Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Odi Osbourne. Right now, we got Ronaldo Rodriguez is 25, 5'6", with a 65.5-inch reach. We got Odi Osbourne is 32, 5'7", with a 73-inch reach. Odds in these two gentlemen, you got Odi Osbourne is plus 125 to plus 115. You got Luis Rodriguez minus 145 to minus 135. Okay, I'll go first here. I think this is an Odie Osbourne spot. Better competition, UFC veteran. He's got good striking. He's got powerful straight punches. He's got really good combos. His body kick is pretty money. He uses his length really well. I think that's where this is going to be. We could watch, Odie Osbourne just pick and move around the cage for a good amount of time here. He's a good grappler. He's active off his back. He's got a good triangle. He's pretty long as a fighter. I don't know. I just think this is an Odie Osbourne spot. I don't get why this guy Ronaldo is going from Bondar to Odie Osbourne. I mean, you watch that Bondar fight. Bondar at one was beating him up and getting his back, things like that. I mean, Ronaldo, they call him Lazy Boy or Lazy King or whatever his nickname is.
It's not Lazy King, bro. Come on, don't.
Oh yeah, that's your French boy.
Don't insult my guy like that, man.
Either way, he is lazy. You watch Ronaldo's fight. He's standing there. He's looking the whole time. He doesn't pick it up until later in the fight. I mean, I'm not really impressed by him at all. I think he's very young. I think he's got time to grow. And I think Odie Osbourne at plus 125, plus 130. I'm fine with taking a dog shot here. Drive, what do you think?
I also lean the dog here, but at the same time, we've seen Ode shit the bed multiple times, man, to be honest. Like, his grappling defense very questionable, and sometimes he's a guy that's going to quit on himself a little bit, I feel like. Fight go the distance. I mean, it's flyweight, right? It could go all 15, but I have a suspicion that the finish is live either way, either side. I think that if Rodriguez get on top as the fight goes on, if Ode slow down, I feel like he's live to submit him. And Ode is always live for a KO. He's super long, tall for the division. He has power, good knees. His striking is pretty good. He's going to be the bigger guy here. But Rodriguez, again, the Mexican here, I just don't really rate the dude, but he seems to have a little bit more heart than Ode. But I don't really think he's that good of a fighter, to be honest, and he's the favorite here. So, yeah, if I had to make a bet, I would take Ode, but it seems like people are paying back the favorite price tag now. So maybe waiting is the best option because a lot of money came in on Ode when he was like plus 150, which I do think it's a sharp bet. But now it seems like the buybacks coming in on the other side. Ode went from like plus 110, plus 105 to plus 125. So, yeah, I do think he's the side. I do think he win, but I'm not confident on my pick here. Maybe McPicks here more confident than me, but yeah, I'm not really sure about this one.
What do you got, McPicks? Boombaclaw? No?
It's a curse word. That's a curse word right there.
Is it?
It is. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good.
So
it's good to know. You learn something new every day.
Mm-hmm. This is the one fight, like, I don't get why it's on the main card. Well, it's going to be exciting, but name value wise, this guy Rodriguez has had one fight in the UFC, and he's on the main card. But I agree with you guys. I actually I like Ode here. Outside of cardio, just letting you know.
It means douchebag. That's what it means.
Is that what it means?
Or like motherfucker or douchebag. That's what it means.
Outside of cardio and durability, I just feel like Ode's better. He's bigger, faster, more athletic. He throws more output. Rodriguez is well-rounded, but he doesn't really excel anywhere. His durability and ability to walk his opponents down are his best attributes. I feel like he's too reliant on those two things. You just can't – in the UFC, you just can't take a round off and be able to – especially at 125, think you can come back and get the finish. But also, like, why is the UFC bringing in Ode? He's 32 years old, and we have a young Mexican prospect fighting on UFC Noche.
And on the main card also.
On the main card, yeah. But yeah, the one thing that's holding me back on Ode is his durability, and he does slow down significantly. And this guy Rodriguez seems to build as the fight goes on. But I'm going to pick the better all-around fighter, the more athletic guy, the guy with the reach advantage. So. Yeah, Ode all day.
All right, Key, go for it. What do you got?
Yeah, I don't really understand, like, the backstory, like, why this guy's getting such a strong push. Like, it doesn't really If anything, I would think that they would swap Rosas and this guy, Lazy Boy, and have Lazy, if they really want to push him, have him start the card and let Rosas still be on the main. But regardless, I think that he's just kind of mid. Like Bondar was hitting him with the kitchen sink in round 1, and Bondar's just kind of a weenie once it gets round 2, round 3. And Bondar just kind of got very sloppy, and looked like he was sick. But that's typical Bondar vibes. But yeah, I think McPicks made a great point. Like, you can't just take off rounds at this level, and especially with the way that he fights it, because it's not like he's Josh Van walking you down in round 2, round 3. Like, he's just kind of in your face. Like, he's taking shots. I mean, his chin is pretty crazy. He's just like staring Bondar in the eye, shaking his head, all sorts of crazy shit. But again, where is he? Like, give me a clear path. Like, I don't really know, other than, like, is it just favorite because he's Mexican on Mexican night? Like, I don't really get it. But Ode isn't the best winner, if that makes sense. I mean, you can argue that he's lost his last 4 fights, realistically. Like, you can genuinely argue that. So it's hard for me to, at big plus odds, Ode was definitely the side. I saw some people got like plus 200, plus 170, like all sorts of crazy shit. I think that those are great lines. But at this, I just don't really want to play it because I just don't know. Like, I don't really get it. It doesn't really make sense. I mean, he's not the most. Yeah, I think Bahamondes Torres is a great option for main card.
Yeah,
they should definitely switch that. Honestly,
they should open the main card.
Yeah, this guy's just.
Is he a TikToker? How does he have 500K followers on Instagram?
It just doesn't make sense. So it's a pass for me, though.
All right. He's not okay. Yeah, he wants a bunch. They want a bunch of chihuahuas. Exactly. Next fight: Daniel Zellhuber versus Esteban Ribovics. Daniel Zellhuber is 15-1, 25-6-1 with a 77-inch reach. Esteban Ribovics is 13-1, 28, 5'10 with a 69-inch reach. Odds on these two gentlemen: Zellhuber is anywhere from minus 220 to minus 240. You get Ribovics anywhere from plus 185 to plus 195. This fight's going to be a banger. I'm going to have McPicks. You go first. Are you siding with the dog here, or are you going to go with Golden Boy and Nick Sick with a good game plan?
I'm going to go with Golden Boy. I think the range is going to give Ribovics a ton of issues. You know, he's got an 8-inch reach advantage. Ribovics is absolutely nasty in the boxing range, but Zellhuber does a good job at managing distance with his long jab and his kicks. You know, both guys are super young, super durable, have excellent cardio. I think it's going to be a good fight overall. I just think that the range and the movement of Zellhuber is going to be the difference maker here. And I actually think he wins a decision. I was kind of surprised at how much chalk was on the overs, though, because this fight is going to be a war. You know, both guys are super tough, but, you know, minus 200 for over 2.5. I was kind of surprised by that for these two. But I do think it makes it.
Okay. Key, what are you thinking? You going with Golden Boy as well?
Yeah, but these odds are garbage. Yeah, Ribovics is a dog. I can't blame anybody who's taking Ribovics dog shots here. God fights hard. I think he's a much better version of who gave Zellhuber problems last time out, Prado. And I had Zellhuber pretty big against Prado. But the guy, I'm not sure. I think he needs to settle into his UFC career more for me to be wanting to eat large price tags on this guy. I still have some questions. I think that he's a great talent. And I love that he's with Nixick. I think that that's a great pairing for him. But I just want to see a little more. I just have to. And Ribovics also, I think that he's a guy that has long-term upside if he could figure out his grappling holes. This is an amazing fight. I'm very, very happy that they booked this.
Jav, how about you?
Yeah, I also agree with you guys. I like Zellhuber. I think he's very skilled, man, to be honest. I like the jab. I like his frame for the division. He's also pretty durable. We've seen him get rocked one time against Gaggles, but the recovery seems very, very solid. So I think Ribovics also very good. The knockout over McKinney was nasty. I mean, McKinney is a guy that normally get finished as the fight goes on. He's the one doing this to other people. The fact that he put him out so quickly like that, it was nasty. Beautiful setup and everything. So yeah, I do think the guy has some power. He's also decent with the grappling offense, but like his takedown defense is bad. I don't really see any guy like having a ton of wrestling success. They're probably going to bang on the feet, and it's going to be a good fight. You're going to have Ribovics having a little bit more success in the inside if he can close the distance. And Zellhuber, I think, is going to be piecing him up at distance with the jab, using the kicks and everything. I do think he have more tools than Ribovics, and he's taller, longer. The Mexican fighting Mexico also just need to consider. And I think the guy is more technical, and I also believe that his ceilings is higher at lightweight. But we need to stop giving Zellhuber shit for the Trey Ogden fight. Like, I mean, that was his UFC debut, shit the bed, but he came back better and he learned from that. So the guy's going to be improving from fight to fight. I think he's pretty solid. So I also agree with McPick here. I think he wins a decision. But that's going to be a good fight. Like, it's not going to be an easy fight for him. So yeah. If I were to bet though, I wouldn't lay the money line price. He's like minus 225 or something. I think to bet him, he needs to be under minus 200 here. But I do think he wins a decision. And he does have some late finishing upside as the fight goes on. But both guys are super tough. So I think it's going to be a good fight.
Yeah, going to pretty much go with everything you guys said too. I mean, this fight takes place in a phone booth. I'm 100% giving it to Ribovics. But it's taking place in an MMA cage at distance. Going to have to give it to Zellhuber. It's going to look a lot like that Prado fight. Don't get me wrong. I think Ribovics is a lot better than Prado, but I think it could look something similar to that. Next fight is Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopes. This is a rebooked rematch. If we don't remember, Diego Lopes, this fight was supposed to happen. Ortega got sick. Lopes fought Dan Ige on, I don't know, what was it, hours notice or 2 hours notice or something crazy like that. So they rebooked this. Brian T-City, he is 16-3. He's 33-5'8" with a 69-inch reach. Diego Lopes is 25-6, 29-5'11" with a 72.5-inch reach. Brian Ortega is anywhere from plus 155 to plus 145. You can get Diego Lopes anywhere from minus 170 to minus 190. I was going to have Seth Key go first, but he is lagging. So, Drav, you're going to go first. I mean, watching that fight the first time, I think we were all on Ortega. After watching Diego Lopes fight, are you still playing Ortega, or are you going with Diego here now?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think we got saved last time out. Like, just keep it real.
I think so too.
Like, just all the narrative, all the major talks, everything Ortega was saying, he missed weight, like motivation didn't look there. And Lopes, you can say what you want about him. The guy has some O's, and I've tried to fade him in the past, but the guy is massive for the division. He has a ton of momentum. He hits super hard. He's very dangerous early, and you need to be ready to fight him, because if not, he's gonna put you out. So obviously very dangerous with the submission. Both guys super dangerous, very, very high level grapplers, and we've seen this a lot happen when two wrestlers fight each other or two grapplers face each other. Sometimes the fight end up play out on the feet, and I think that's what's going to happen here. You have a guy in Lopes who's a madman early, who's big, who hit very hard, and Ortega, who has more experience against higher level competition, who has better cardio, who's very durable, but can get cracked early, has been touched up a lot, took a lot of damage in his career. So I think Lopes is live to knock him out early. I know Ortega is super durable, but the guy's talking about moving up to lightweight, doesn't really have a chance to have a title shot unless he waits at featherweight. So the motivation doesn't seem there for him. And he got injured last time out. So he's just a guy that, he seems to be ready for the next step, which looks like moving up a weight class. He's 33 years old. And you have Lopes, who is 29, entering his prime, fighting on the same card as the Coleman event, he's the BJJ coach of Grasso, obviously. And the fans probably going to be on his side, I feel like. they're probably going to like Ortega also. But yeah, I just feel like Ortega's going to have to survive a storm early. And he's just a guy that at this point in his career, I feel like he can get put out early. And don't forget that Rodriguez broke his I think it was his arm or something. He broke something, right? It just seems like he doesn't seem, he had a lot of injury in his career. And if Lopes locks something up, I'm pretty sure Ortega's not going to tap, and we could see something break. So just to take in consideration, if you're playing the sub, which I'm not, and the Ortega round 3, I think it can be good. I think he can finish Lopes as the fight goes on. Lopes, his cardio is not good. I think he's going to be a fade as like in 5 rounds fight if he's not finishing the guy. I think Ortega is live to finish at the end of the fight, end of round 2 or round 3. And I think that Lopes is very live to finish him under 1.5 also. So I think the under is decent. I know both guys are very durable, but if there is no finish, it's going to be a war, and they're going to land big shots. Both guys not really responsible defensively. And yeah, Lopes is a nasty uppercut. Like I said, dangerous. He takes just it more seriously. So I think he's going to get it done, make a statement, and finish Ortega, actually. And we're going to see Ortega moving up a weight class next fight. And yeah, the guy's, yes, submission is super impressive. Don't get me wrong. But Lopes is going to be very hard to submit. And I don't really see them exchanging in the grappling too much. I think they're going to stand and bang. So I think a KO each way is possible. And I think the under is a good look, but I did have a pretty good play. I send up to my dub club guys for this one, which is a pretty sneaky way to play it. Yeah. So, but I do think Lopes is going to win, probably by KO and probably in the first 2 rounds. It's my prediction.
All right, Key, what are you thinking here? You're supposed to go first, but you lagged out.
Yeah. I've been trying to fade Lopes. Shout out to Sadiq for dying early. It's tough to get to a bet here because Brian Ortega says all the wrong things. I mean, absolutely all of the wrong things that you don't want to hear before you're putting money on him. I don't know where his head's at. I'm unsure what his body and what his durability is actually going to be like at this point. I had a major bet on Yair in that fight, and Yair got little broed. I don't have a good read here just because I don't think that Lopes is going to necessarily just KO him round 1. And I do think that Lopes has such a flawed fighter. I mean, if we go back to regionals, the Brito fight was a terrible look. I do think that Ortega has potential top time path here. But this is such a weird fight. Aura is seeming to win this year all year long. We see it with guys like Prates, John Silva. Like, I mean, Aura's been winning.
It's different, though.
Gene Silva was plus 180 against your boy Charles Jourdain whenever he got knocked the fuck out. So
yeah, but
I think that this is.
What I'm saying.
I think I think that this is just a weird fight. I did bet Ortega at like plus 125. I think like me, all y'all did. First time whenever this was scheduled.
Yep, we got bailed out.
Yeah, and we were talking in the group chat about how we felt as that fight week went on, how we didn't feel good about that bet. So I'm not making the same mistake here. I'm not going to sweat my nuts off. So this is another fight. If this is a Lopes fade, then fuck it. I miss out on it. But I'm hoping that he gets around 1 KO and we build even higher so that I can get a crazy line for the next potential fade. So this is a pass fight for me.
McPicks, what do you got?
Yeah, similar read to you guys. I'm done fading this dude. Even though I'm picking Ortega to win here, he's fought way better level of competition. He's more technical in the striking. He's a better wrestler, better cardio, super durable. I think he's going to be the minute winner here. With all that being said, yeah, I don't want to fade Diego Lopes again. He's bigger, younger. He's more aggressive, has more power. He's dangerous wherever the fight goes. Doesn't matter if he's off his back or he's striking. And I believe that Ortega dislocated his shoulder against Yair. But Yair had him. Yair had him in a deep armbar submission attempt. So, but you know, Ortega's kind of funky outside the octagon. He said some weird shit. But you know, if you bet on him, he's going to fight for your money. You know, he's been knocked out twice. One was that doctor stoppage, or one was that injury. The other was a doctor stoppage. Never been submitted, so you know he's going to fight for your money. But you know, he's older here. He's been in a ton of wars. I mean, just look at that Max Holloway fight. I mean, you're not supposed to take that many shots to the head and be the same type of person. But I'm excited to watch this one as a fan. Both guys really tough. I could actually see this one creeping to a decision. I will say though, if round one is fought at a really high pace, or it's like 1-1 going into the third, if the fight gets extended, I might throw some money on T-City Live because I feel like
I like that. I like that a lot.
I didn't like how Lopes finished against Ige in the third round, and that was Ige. Ige was getting a massage 3 hours prior for to his fight. So I'll probably just watch this one as a fan and look to bet it live.
Yeah, no, I think Ortega's side to live bet. I think that's exactly what you said. Enjoy it as a fan, see how the first round goes. After round one, and all the upside pretty much goes to T-City. I mean, we've seen the holes in the cardio and the holes in the striking of Diego Lopes. Fortunately, he probably is going to continue to get away with this, and then he's going to fight the Puria and get knocked out. So the time will come, but who knows what the line will be at that time. Go on to our co-main event. Guys, drop us a like and a sub again. I know we asked 2 times a podcast for it, but hey, it's all we can get. It's how you guys can tip us, is just by likes and subs. Co-main event, we're going to have to watch this stinker for the third time. Alexa Grasso versus Valentina Schevchenko. Alexa Grasso is 16-3-1. She's 31-5-5 with the 66-inch reach. Valentina Schevchenko is 23-4-1. She's 36-5-5 with the 65-inch reach. Right now, line on these girls, you got Grasso anywhere from -140 to -130. You got Valentina Schevchenko anywhere from +115 to +125. I'll go quick. I'll be first. I bet Schevchenko the first time. I bet Schevchenko the second time. I don't have a bet on her yet, but if the line continues to get wider, or if I can get like +130, I'll probably be on Valentina Schevchenko a third time. Sure, she's older and declining. I think she does have the grappling upside. I think she has the wrestling upside. I think if she can get the crucifix going, like her infamous crucifix, it could be money here. She's obviously a more technical striker. I think she's a better striker. Let me put it that way, because I do think Alexa Grasso is the better boxer per se, but I think as like a straight up striker, I think Schevchenko is better. We saw in the second fight that Valentina Grasso really learned how to time the spinning attacks of Valentina Schevchenko, which is an issue because those are some of the keys to her. But I'm going to go off on a little narrative tangent here. I know Drav and Key are probably sick of hearing this because it's going to be the third time they've heard this. I mean, looking at this fight, if you watch, I personally think Schevchenko was winning majority of the first fight until a meme sub, because she bounced and tripped and fell, whatever the fuck happened. Second fight, I think Schevchenko won that fight too, and then they give it a draw because I think they gave Grasso 2 and a 10-8 in round 5, I think it was, or something like that. But if you were watching 2 fights already that Schevchenko has fought a really good fight, and even in that second one, so you got to assume that Schevchenko has to fight the same way she did in fight 2 and or better to assume that you're going to get the decision in a fight that probably goes a distance at a pretty high clip. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, unless we get a superstar Schevchenko at 36 and she does beats up Grasso pretty good, I find it pretty hard for the judges to, swing it Valentina's way at UFC Noche in, the world stage as basically built for Grasso, considering she's the Mexican champion of this card. So I don't know. I kind of think I think Schevchenko or pass, honestly, at plus odds. Key, you're the girl expert. What do you got?
Yeah. I just want to start this off by saying Manon beats the shit out of both of them in the same night. And we will be there when Manon whoops whoever's ass who wins this fight. I think Manon is definitely levels above Grasso.
What about the other chick, Key, that just won? She's nasty. young Brazilian. She just won.
Natalia Silva?
Natalia Silva.
Yeah. What about Natalia Silva?
Her and Manon would be fun. That would be real fun. I still think Manon wins. I think that Manon's physicality is just insane for this weight class.
Manny's gonna destroy both of them, honestly.
Yeah, but I think that people are forgetting that Grasso's like low key a pretty big overachiever here. I mean, she was getting her face jabbed off by Joanne Wood not too long ago, and everybody just seems to forget that. And I think she's done good with the tools that she has. She's a good boxer. She's a dog. I think that Schevchenko clearly won the last fight. I think the UFC knows that. That's the reason why she's getting this shot again. And in the first fight, we know what happened. I think that Schevchenko was clearly on her way to winning, and then meme sub. So how many times can Schevchenko beat her and not get the result that she deserves? So I have to favor Grasso here because it just feels like age, career trajectory. Schevchenko seems nah, she's not taking down Manon.
Crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, crazy. Please believe that so I can get a better line on Manon though. But I think that career trajectory, Schevchenko decision making. I know that we think of her as a super smart, intelligent fighter, but her decision making late in rounds 3 through 5 like has continuously shown up to get worse and worse. Almost the spin kick is what led to the tide turning in that last fight after she seemingly did not learn her lesson in the first fight. I mean, it's just bad decision making. And Schevchenko, we know, will stare. And again, Mexican Independence Night. I mean, we know the theme of this card. The crowd is going to be behind Grasso full blown. Grasso is going to walk forward. She's going to throw somewhat. And I just don't think that Shevchenko's as durable as she once was. The Terminator sort of aura has completely left her. So I think that there's a Grasso spot. I can't get down on minus. I think it's minus 141 right now. I can't get down on that. So I think that that's just a little bit too wide in a fight where I do think that Schevchenko is technically skill for skill is the better fighter. But this series has not shown that. And in an alternate universe, Schevchenko is 2-0 against Grasso. And Grasso probably wouldn't have even gotten a rematch. So this is a fight that I'm willing to pass on at these odds.
McPicks, what are you thinking?
I think this is like a battle of a minute winner in Schevchenko versus like a moment winner in Alexa Grasso. Schevchenko, she has proved in the past against Grasso. She has more tools in the arsenal. She's more diverse striking, better wrestler, better movement. She's better at winning the minutes, but I just give Alexa the majority of the finishing upside. Alexa's shots clearly have been taking more effect on Schevchenko, and she has more power. Plus, when Alexa gets to like dominant positions, she's more damaging and threatening. She's more likely to finish the fight. And Valentina is now 36 years old, and I just feel like over the past few years, we just seen some regression in her game. I think if there's any improvements between the two of these fighters, we're going to see improvements in Alexa and some regression in Valentina. And Alexa's proven she has really good cardio and can cause a lot of issues to Valentina late. So, hot take. I think that all three Mexican women win, and I think that there's potential for a finish in all three women's fights.
So I was thinking about doing a Mexican parlay. I was thinking about doing that earlier today. I'm probably going to do it, but I'm going to take Edgar Chairez out of it. So I think, honestly, out of him or Lazy Boy, probably one of those two, take him out of it. Those are, I think, the most likely Mexicans to lose. But I don't know. I feel like that's got to pay well. Jav, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, me and McPicks, I think we agree on all the picks of the card so far. I also like Grasso, but I do think she's gonna finish the fight, man. There's a couple things that I thought it was interesting watching the first couple fights back, right? Like Valentina talk in interviews about how she needs to make a statement and kind of finish the fight because, like you guys said, she probably won the last fight. I think it was pretty close. I was on Grasso the last fight plus 200. It was a draw. I scored for Valentina, to be honest, without being biased on rewatch, but it was very close. Okay. And the things I've noticed as the fight goes on, because early in the first 2-3 rounds, Valentina is able to get her wrestling going and control Grasso on the ground. But as the fight goes on, round 4, round 5, she's getting more sloppy. She does more mistakes, and she doesn't control her anymore. So with that being the case, you have Grasso, like you guys said, she's younger, making improvements, and clearly watching her tapes because, I mean, call it a fluke if you want, the submission. She trained for that, man. That was like she wanted to time the spinning back kick and get the sub. She literally trained that. So was it a fluke? I don't really know if you trained that particular move to happen. But it just proved me that at any moment, if Valentina make mistakes, she's going to capitalize on them. And she's watching the mistakes on tapes and everything. So I'd love to see that. And also, like you guys said, Valentina is not reacting well when she's getting hit by Grasso, especially the last fight. She got dropped. Let's not forget that. And I think she could get hurt, you know. So Grasso's better boxing, more power and dangerous in the pocket, and Valentina's better at kicking, better at distance and scoring and win minutes. But she has shown me that if she doesn't finish Grasso in the first 3 rounds, because there's one of the fights that I've watched, she has a guillotine locked in and it was pretty tight, you know. So she could finish her, and I think she's gonna try to do it. But if she doesn't, she literally proved me 2 times it already when she was closer to her prime that she can't do what she was doing early in the fights for all 25 minutes without doing mistakes. And Grasso has shown me that she's going to be there to capitalize when Valentina make mistakes later in the fight. So I think Grasso could knock her out. I think she could get her out with ground and pound, because in the last round, let's not forget that Valentina was covering up and it was very bad body language, and Grasso was just pounding her away. And then she almost submitted her like 2 times, and she submitted her 1 time already in round 4 because Valentina made a mistake. So I'll take, maybe it already happened in the past in the first fight. Grasso finished her in the round 4. I do think she's gonna finish her again round 4 or 5, but I think this time it might be by TKO. The time that she hurt Valentina, she was doing a lot of good work in the clinch, also with the knees to the body, with the elbows in the clinch, which I like to see. And you have a girl was at the top, was the champion, done it all, but now she's getting older. She's on the decline a little bit. Not to say she's washed. I think she looked good in her last fight. But you have Grasso, who's entering her prime, the champion now, all the momentum, the cards built around her, and you can see that she's making improvements and she's gonna get better from fight to fight. So yeah, man, I think that I'll give it out for the podcast. I'm gonna give out all 3 bets that I have for this co-main event. Okay, so I play the under 4.5 at plus 175, and I play Grasso to win in round 4 at plus 1800, and Grasso to win in round 5 at plus 2000. So just because I think Valentina is gonna need to finish if she wants to win, and she's gonna have to do it in the first 3 rounds, I don't think it's gonna happen. And then I think in round 4 and 5, I think when Valentina is a little bit more fatigued, I think Grasso is going to capitalize, having the better cardio, being a younger fighter, and she's going to get a TKO or a submission. So yeah, that's my pick for the fight, and I think these bets going to cash. So let's make it rain.
Say it again. I got to put it in and track it. What was the bet?
Grasso round 4, Grasso round 5, and under 4.5.
Okay, gotcha. Also, just a little pause. Big deal. My favorite fighter just booked the fight, or at least Ruben Carter put out Prates MVP MSG, by the way.
Are you serious?
That's what I mean, unless Ruben Carter lied again, but it says
he might be lying, but that's a garbage fight.
Carlos Prates versus MVP at MSG.
Okay.
We will be there. We will be there on Carlos Prates. We will be there.
Who's this guy, Ruben Carter? That's not even a real source.
I don't know.
Tony Ferguson, Nick Diaz. Who's this guy? I don't believe this until I see.
He always gets like 1 million views on his shit, and half the time they're real. Sometimes they're real, and sometimes they're totally fake. So I don't know. You never know.
But anyways, it's not really the fight I want. It's kind of exciting, but not at the same time. So I don't really want to.
That's a stock dropper for Prates. Nobody on the feet ever looks wide favored against MVP.
No, especially with like how low volume he could be at times. It's going to be an issue.
But I have to assume the Fighting Nerds game plan is going to be the grapple here.
Oh yeah. After they saw what Ian Gary just became a D1 wrestler, 100%. Carlos Prates by sub, Carlos Prates money line, the under. All I'm going to be there for all.
MVP won that fight.
I don't know. But
it was very
tough crowd.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I had an MVP ticket too, bro. I don't know. I don't know if he did. I watched that back and just because of the bullshit takedowns, honestly, he did
You
nothing.
didn't watch it back. Don't lie to us on stream.
I watched it back. I've watched a few fights back recently. But McPicks, go ahead. Give it. What do you got? Did you go ready for the co-main event, or did it was only Jaws that went?
No, you
I
went.
won.
All right, everyone went.
He's
Perfect.
picking Grasso, and he thinks she's like to finish late. That's a smart dude right there.
All right. Well, FanDuel is going to give us a 4-5 prop.
It's already
probably.
out, bro. Open your eyes. It's been there.
No. They give the specialty prop where you get both round 4 and round 5 in one. I could be there for it. Here's our main event, guys. We're here. We've made it. It's Sean O'Malley, who's I guess they're saying half Mexican, versus Merab Dvalishvili, who is Georgian. You got Sugar Sean, who's 18-1, 29, 5'11 with a 72-inch reach. Merab Dvalishvili, 17-4, 33, 5'6 with a 68-inch reach. Odds right now, Merab anywhere from plus 110 to plus 120. O'Malley anywhere from minus 120 to minus 130. I'm going to be honest. I went back since this fight's been booked, and I really started looking into tapes last week. I woke up every day and felt different about this. I can't decide whether O'Malley's going to knock him out or if Merab's going to actually just drag him around the cage for 25 minutes. It could be either or. My only thing about
Didn't you say you like Sean by KO all week in the chat with me and Key?
Yes, I know. And there's a reason I haven't locked a ticket in yet because I don't know how much I like it. Because
that means
there's a weird world in my head where I just see Merab getting rocked like he does every time, somehow manages to recover, gets the takedown, and then just drags him around the cage. Then round 2, drags him around the cage and just does it over and over again. It shoots 55 takedowns. And does Sugar Sean have the same takedown defense as Jose Aldo or Peter Yan? No, he doesn't. Does he have better jiu-jitsu? I think so. He's a brown belt under can't remember his name, but he's one of the hardest to get belts under. So he's definitely well versed on the ground. But I don't think it matters here. I think Merab, if he takes him to the ground, it's going to be all Merab the whole time, being the machine. But knees up the middle, the left hook, any of those strikes, anything straight down the middle that Sean O'Malley throws is probably going to be live to knock out Merab. I don't know. I think it's very hard to choose here. My pick, I'll make it standing now. I'm going to go with Sugar Sean. What do you got, McPicks?
Yeah, it's a tough one to call. At the end of the day, I don't think it's ever a bad idea to back a guy like Merab, who has an insane work rate, insane cardio, relentless grappling. But, this fight is favored to go the distance. O'Malley is a sharpshooter. And although Merab's never been knocked out, he has been hurt multiple times. I think that some refs outside of, I think it was Keith Peterson, would have stopped the fight in Merab's fight against Marlon Moraes in round 1. But to give Merab credit, his recoverability is insane. He's tough. Like I said, he's not going to quit. He's not going to quit unless the ref has to step in or he gets knocked out cold. But at the end of the day, I'm going to go with a guy like Merab. He's going to fight for your money. He's going to wrestle. And I think he wins by decision. But
I also think Merab is better than Aljo, to be honest. Might be a hot take, but I think Merab's a better fighter than Aljo is. I hate to say it to you. It's like, I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, if you want to compare who they fought, I mean, I don't think Merab's going to get put out the way Aljo did. I don't think if you look at Aljo versus Peter Yan and Merab versus Peter Yan, I mean, pretty self-explanatory. He set the takedown record on him. I don't know. I think Merab's just the better fighter.
Merab just sets a higher pace. Like he's gonna be in your face. He's gonna be all over you. I think Aljo is trying to be a little bit too technical against Sean in their fight, and he got caught. He only shot like 1 or 2 takedowns, and that counter right hand was ridiculous. But
what do you think about all the pictures he's posted, like the staph infection in one picture and then the eye cut in the other picture? Like, I don't even know why you'd put photos like that out.
He's just a madman. I mean, like the video of him diving into the frozen lake, he split his head open. Come on.
He's also a Long Island guy. How can we not get along with the New York guy? Garden City, New York.
I know. But I just think that he doesn't care. Like, he doesn't care if he gets a cut. He doesn't care if he gets staph. He knows he's still going to go out there and like literally die if he has to. So that's why I'm going with my guy Merab. But Not a confident pick.
Drav, what do you got?
No, I think you need to let Key go first. Pretty sure he has a lot of things to say.
All right, Key.
I see him all the breakdowns. He's like, when Peg's talking, he's like, go ahead, Key, go
What do you got for us, Key?
Yeah, I mean, this is. I mean, I've gotten shit for it on Twitter, of course, but I think this is a sugar spot. I won't say Merab. Putting money on Merab against Godzilla is not a bad bet. I'll say that Merab's pace is insane. But I think that the difference here that doesn't worry me as much. I think that Aljo is actually probably a worse matchup for Sean, if I'm being honest, because Aljo has a real top game and real BJJ. Merab's top game is not that. Like, he's not subbing guys. The fight will not be over if Sean gets taken down. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think it's just your face is frozen. Now we can't hear you. So
that's a good point, though. Honestly, this fight is probably going to go 5 rounds if Merab wins, because he doesn't really have a jiu-jitsu game or ground game. He doesn't really have a ton of power. So I mean, Sean's going to have a lot of opportunities to knock him out, but I still just think that the pace is going to get to Sean.
Don't you think he could finish him as the fight goes on, like breaking him? I mean, he broke Peter Yan.
Yeah, it'll be like an attritional stoppage. It won't be like I
think it's kind of possible, to be honest, as the fight goes on. Like, have you seen the prices for round 4 and 5 from Merab?
No.
I mean, if he were to finish, which I'm not calling him to finish the fight, but if he were to finish, you have to kind of believe it's going to be late in breaking O'Malley, right? I think it's like plus 4,000 and plus 5,000 or some shit like that. But you can continue your breakdown.
Yeah, my internet fucked me. Pause. But this is.
You're okay. You were frozen for a second, but you're back. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I'm solid now. As I was saying, though, I think that Aljo is probably one of the worst matchups for O'Malley, just due to the fact that his top game is real. He takes backs. I mean, and Merab isn't doing that. I think that Sean's get-up game is solid. I know that the Peter Yan getting taken down by Peter Yan like that is not the best look, but I think that Sean was not expecting Yan to grapple much at all in that fight. And Sean has consistently proved these price tags to be wrong. I mean, in the Aljamain fight, I believe he was plus big money. In Yan fight, plus big money. And I mean, and I backed him against Marlon Vera at minus 190 gladly, and he looked minus 500, minus 600. I think the guy's a sharpshooter, and you're asking for 25 minutes of perfection damn near. And I don't mean that in the fact that, Merab's one shot away from getting KO'd, even though that is true too. But it only takes one shot to steal a round, because Merab isn't causing insane damage or insane having a bunch of sub upside here. So it only takes one shot for O'Malley to steal a round. And O'Malley's cardio has proven to be pretty damn good. And I don't know if it's the weed smoker lungs. Kevin Holland has that same weird shit going on too. But these weed smokers, I mean, they come in and these guys can go 5 rounds and not sweat at all. And I think Sean O'Malley's cardio has proven to be good. Am I saying this Merab's level? Fuck no. But I am saying that he's not going to just sit here and gas out and quit on himself here. And so I think the cut will prove to be a big issue here. Merab's just doing dumb shit, but that's Merab. So I'm not saying that needs to be baked into what I think the line should be here. But I do think that Sean's just a better fighter. I think that on the feet, the range, and what really stood out to me, the feint game and the range management of O'Malley is top 3 in the world, period, regardless of weight class, pound for pound. I mean, the feint game and the range management is absolutely insane. And he's so calm. He's so calm in there. Never in a rush, always calm. And so for those reasons, I have to back the guy who has a lot of the physical, measurable advantage. I think he has the finishing upside. I give Merab very, very, very little finishing upside here. And like McPicks mentioned, I mean, we're a Herb Dean away or Mark Goddard away from Merab probably not even being here, because, I mean, many refs would have stopped that Merab's fight. So I think that there's a Sean O'Malley spot. I got minus 115. I'm mad that I was trying to bitch out and wait for bigger plus money. And I'm honestly surprised more people aren't on Merab because, I mean, he's the community darling. And I'm hoping that this line can come back down again so I can add more. But I really do think that there's a sugar spot, and I don't think that it's KO or bust. I think that he has real decision upside, and we see it in fights like Gamrot and Hooker. I mean, you're talking damage over control. And so you're constantly seeing that damage control argument is always going to side with damage. And so crotch sniffing is dead in 2024. You know what I'm saying? So it's time for Sean to really assert himself as this bantamweight champ. And I think Umar is going to end up taking it next fight anyways. But in this fight, I think the Merab's run, I think that you can't dodge death too many times. And so I think that death is coming for Merab.
Plus, you got to talk about star power too. I mean,
and the attitude.
UFC doesn't. I mean, UFC does not like Merab. They love O'Malley. O'Malley's a star. We saw O'Malley versus Jan. I mean, you can make a very strong argument that Jan should have won that fight, but O'Malley's a star. Like Patty versus Jared Gordon, right?
Yep. Yeah. So, and we also have to keep in mind, I know Merab has had some great performances, but in context, I mean, Henry Cejudo off of a groin tear in that fight after getting
also old
when I had Cejudo in that fight, but he's getting bonked around one there. And then on top of that, Peter Yan was hurt in that fight. I mean, his best performances are against guys who are coming in hurt. And it's not to say O'Malley could be hurt too, but I think that those fights previously also look a little different if both guys are coming in 100%. So I just have to give it to O'Malley here. I think star power, like McPicks mentioned, I think it really does play a factor.
Yeah. Also, I'm going to add to this real quick, this comment, Umar beats both. If you go on DraftKings right now, you can get Umar to be the champion at the end of 2025 plus 330. I put, I think, 1.3 units on that earlier today. I think it's a pretty safe bet because he put up a picture of him and Hunter saying he's the next in line for the belt. So it's probably realistically going to be in 2025. And then, I mean, I don't really see anyone dethrone Umar. So once Umar's in, he's in. So I think that's the way to play that if you want to play it, because money line is going to be minus 175 against Sugar Sean, or probably even wider against Merab. So get it while you can. Drav, go ahead, give us your breakdown, then we'll do BTL Parlay.
Yeah, it's a very interesting fight, man. I'm not sure who I'm picking, but I did more tapes on it today actually. And man, the Peter Yan fight, injured or not, I mean, it was one of the best performances I've seen in a long time in the 5 rounds, man. Like the pace that he pushed, the amount of takedown that he shoot, but also, man, the striking. Like, let's not act like he didn't outstrike or hurt Peter Yan in that fight. He beat up his leg, he make his eyes almost close, and he beat him up 50-45. You know, it was crazy impressive to me, man, that fight. And also, let's just put it in context. He fought Jose Aldo, Peter Yan, and Cejudo. All these guys have something in common. They have elite takedown defense or elite wrestling background, you know. So for me to see Merab getting the best of these guys, outstriking them and out wrestling them, he didn't take down Aldo, but he still found a way to win the fight. And I was kind of surprised to see on tapes, Merab can clip guys on the feet too. Like, he doesn't have big power, but his straight right hand down the pipe, he does. Like, he clipped Yan 2-3 times in that fight, like pretty bad. And he did the same with Aldo in round 3. I think if O'Malley get too worried about the takedowns, we could see a world where, like Peter Yan, like when Merab is not going to be scared to exchange and he's going to bring it, you know. So and also believe that he can have leg kick success. We've seen Sean O'Malley struggle with that in his entire career, and he has elite distance management. It's in the big cage. It does favor him, but Merab is probably going to try to kick the legs, and he's going to try to walk forward and pressure him the entire time. We know he's not going to get tired. We know that he's going to be there. And yeah, he can get hurt. He got clipped 2 times by a left hook against Cejudo Moraes. Bad look, but at the same time, the guy has that dog in him. He's not going to quit on himself. And yeah, he's going to be there. And his recovery is crazy, like you guys mentioned. So if O'Malley hurt him, it's going to be hard to put him out. So you guys kind of all agree that the fight's probably going to go 25 minutes. And I kind of view it the same way. And maybe we see the fight being like damage versus control, and O'Malley win a decision. So people who bet O'Malley KO only end up losing. But at the same time, it's hard to not see O'Malley getting a KO at some point over 25 minutes. like with the knees that he have and the timing that he has, it's pretty crazy. He's gonna hurt Merab at some point, I'm pretty sure, but maybe we see Merab just taking him down because the Peter Yan fight. Say what you want about it, but Merab broke Peter Yan in the striking and the wrestling, and Peter Yan had a very close fight against O'Malley. A lot of people scored this fight for Peter Yan, and I mean Yan had the better of the wrestling, and he slammed him on the ground a couple times, and sometimes O'Malley had good get up, sometimes he didn't. So yeah, you gave all the wrestling, the grappling upside to Merab. O'Malley doesn't have bad cardio like you guys mentioned, but he never had someone pushing a pace like that on him for 25 minutes. He looked good cardio wise against Vera, but he fought his fight. It was all striking. Vera's a punching bag, and he did all he needed to do. So I could see this fight where Merab's kicking the legs early, pressuring O'Malley, getting clipped early, probably surviving, and then pushing a crazy pace. And as the fight goes on, after round 2, kind of breaking O'Malley as the fight goes on. Because, man, the way he was mixing up the striking and the wrestling against Peter Yan was a thing of beauty, man. You couldn't really see where the takedowns were coming in because he's not just a wrestler, he's timing his striking with his wrestling pretty well. So for O'Malley, he's gonna try to time the perfect shot and end up like losing the minutes because Merab's gonna be there, man. He's gonna be pressuring, he's gonna shoot a lot of takedowns, he's not gonna gas out. So I have a feeling like I'm gonna pick Merab to win actually, but it's just so hard to bet against O'Malley. Like you guys mentioned, he has the star power. He's such a sharp shooter. He can knock him out. He's so nasty with the knees and everything. But man, getting Merab at plus money, it's just after the last performance that he had against Peter Yan, to me, it seems like a good bet. And yeah, I'm just waiting at the moment. I'm waiting to see where the price goes. Even round 4 and 5 for Merab, I don't give him much finishing upside. But if he were to finish the fight, I think it's going to be at the end of the fight where he's breaking O'Malley and O'Malley's getting a bit tired and then he breaks him. Would it happen? Probably not. But the price for them for round 4 and 5 are crazy for Merab. So yeah, I'll pick him to win a decision here, but it's not going to be easy and he's going to have to take a lot of damage. But he does know that. His coach even told that in an interviews that if we know that we're going to have to, it's going to be a tough fight. He's going to have to hit a lot of shots, but O'Malley's going to have to be on his A game also and, be like, his footwork's going to be the key here. But let's not forget that I think Sterling won the first round against him. And the Sterling fight also, was it a worse matchup because Sterling's more dangerous? Yes. But at the same time, all the UFC did was trying to give Sterling at the perfect time for O'Malley to win. And I did bet O'Malley in that fight, but plus 230 and plus 245. Now we're talking minus 140 against a guy who's going to push crazy pace on him and it's not going to get tired. So, yeah, man, we're betting numbers at the end of the day, and I wouldn't lay chalk on O'Malley here. If you get like plus money on him, if you got plus money, I don't blame you. Even to pick him, I can see the argument based damage and more finishing upside. I don't mind that also, but with the current line with O'Malley being around minus 130 to minus 150 or some shit, I just disagree with it. I think it should be a pick him at worst. But yeah, man, I'll see where the line goes, and I might end up on Merab, but I'm going to pick him to win the decision here. But I'm excited to see how this fight play out, to be honest. It's like a very high-level shit, man.
Yeah. All right. So let's go into our BTL parlay. I think we do a little bit different this time. I think for this BTL parlay, you have to pick a Mexican fighter. We'll make it a Mexican BTL parlay for this one. Whoever wants to start it off.
I'll start. I'll take Alexa Grasso, even if I don't like the price. Minus 140.
Okay. Okay.
Give me 1 second.
All right.
So
McPicks, you can go.
Yeah, give me a Rini Aldana.
All right. Key, you ready or do you want me to go?
You go ahead.
All right, I'll take Zellhuber.
Shit. Fuck me.
you with all the shitty ones.
Let's see here.
You can always take Yasmin. It's going to be a good price either way. I think it's going to be 4.
No, fuck that. I'm not you. I'm not a pussy.
Rude. Yo, take Rosas by inside the distance minus 360.
Nah, everybody's had close odds. Fuck it. Nah, I'm gonna let my nuts hang. Brian Ortega.
Damn.
There you go.
Okay. Let's get it. Okay,
Plus,
so what's that?
It's plus 1100.
Chiwiwi.
I could see it crashing, honestly.
The Chiwiwi, you roll out the Chiwiwi parlay.
I'm not confident in Ortega, but all the others I think win. So
okay, so we got again, that is Brian T City. Did you go off Bet Online odds, Strav?
yeah, it's plus 1100 on Bet Online. I just
Right.
it already.
So the picks are Alexa Grasso minus 140, Brian Ortega plus 155, Daniel Zellhuber minus 220, and Irene Aldana minus 110. That's plus 1100 total, and that's the Chiwiwi parlay for UFC 306.
You got to say it like he says it. Come on.
Chiwiwi. So
you practice this a lot in the chat.
yeah. So all right, guys, that's the show. Thanks for joining us. I know this one we're keeping it under 2 hours. Just it's fine for this. It's a good card. I love going live with everyone too. I'm your host, Pegasus Picks or Picks by Pegasus. Telegram, everything's on Twitter and in my Telegram. Everything's always free. Feel free to join anytime. Drave, Key, you guys got anything going on with Dub Club? I mean, Picks, your Dub Club too, right? So what do you guys got going on in Dub Club this week?
What you got?
Yeah, Twitter is at McPicksMMA. I do have a Dub Club. I post all my bets there. I've been doing good on a 4-event winning streak. Cleaned up last night at Dana White Contender Series. Had a good night there. And if you join, you get access, obviously, to all my bets. I post a bunch of long shot parlays. Also, access to the private Discord. We shoot the shit, just talk about MMA. And I post a lot of live bets in there. So, yeah, but appreciate you guys having me on. I'm hoping the BTL Parlay hits. I think we got a good record with the BTL Parlay.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I think it's like 4-1 or something.
Yeah, this is a big one.
Yeah, McPicks, your good night in Dana White Contender Series is more than $5, right? That green night.
$5?
Yeah, didn't you? Or mine was. We knew it was the same night. What was it? 2 weeks ago? I think I only profited like $6.
Oh, previously, yeah, I've been like making by our profit. But hey, a winning night's a winning night, right?
Green means green.
Green is good.
Get yourself a deli sandwich. What do you got, Key? What's going on? What kind of deals you got for us?
Yeah, Key 3 Picks. Y'all can hit the 50% discount in my bio right now. If you DM me BTL right now, I'll give you something extra. 8 out of 9 on my last WMMA bets. We've been cooking lately. I think I've hit like 6 out of my last 7 events have been winning. Up over 60 units this year. I got live in Discord. Good group of guys in there. So come kick it with us. UFC 306 going to be a major card. I got some big bets out, so it's time to eat.
Guys, join Key's Dub Club so he can fix his internet, please. It'll save us a lot. Join the Dub Club. It'll be a good discount. You'll help pay for the internet. You'll help improve the show. Everything will get better.
Yeah, it was actually a good one, Faye. I'll give it that one to you.
All right, John, what do you got?
Yeah, so for me, Dravey _ on Twitter, Dub Club link in bio. Up 70 unit on the year. So if you guys want to join all the way up to 100, you can hit me up either in bio on Twitter. If you're new here, if you want a promo code for your first month or anything, hit me up. Or you can buy the card also on BetMMA Tips directly if you prefer only buying one card. But I do recommend buying a month or 3 months membership because the long-term gains, it's what's going to make you having a ton of money at the end of the day. So don't forget to leave a like on the way out and subscribe. And yeah, man, it's going to be a fun card. And I hope we both catch. We agree on most of the fights. So yeah, man, McPicks, thanks for coming in as always, bro. And yeah, let's kill it, guys.
Yeah. That's the show, guys. Thanks for joining us. UFC 306. Let's cash it, boys. Peace.